Hey everybody, I'm TC, and today I earned the title of TC, the Power Washer King. Tim and Ash. Anyways, what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and build this gun right here. This is the exact same gun that I had in my detail shop. I used this gun for 3 years. Every employee in my shop used this gun. It got dropped. It got ran over. You name it, it happened. The original gun did not have a second inlet on it. This is something I added later. So this is something that you can do later if you want to as well. We're going to show you how to build this gun. Now, you can build these guns out of PVC. You can build it out of steel. Buy the steel galvanized if you want. You can also make them out of brass. You can make them out of pretty much anything. The thing is if you make them out of the steel or even the galvanized steel, you're not going to have a very smooth water flow through the gun unless you file everything and then paint it afterwards. Another thing is the steel fittings. I left this one out of the yard for a winter. So I was using this to, I was blowing oil through it to my rocket heater. And this particular one, siphon feeds, it's a whole nother video. We're not going to talk about all that, but there's something different that happens in here. The point is, this one was out in my backyard for a winter, and bam, look at the brass fittings. They're fine. They're all fine. That's inside your gun. You don't want that in your gun. I'd rather have one out of PVC. Matter of fact, this particular gun right here, the barrel, I put a PVC barrel on it just because it was lighter. I was using it all day. I had a high volume detail shop. That was used a lot. All right, we're gonna get right into it. You've probably looked at lots of other videos on YouTube trying to, somebody told you about an air compressor power washer, and yeah, there's some out there. But the thing is all the ones I've seen are ones that a guy bought a sandblaster thing and screwed a water attachment on it, and bingo, bango, whatever. Can't control how much water comes out of it. It doesn't have much pressure. I mean, anyways, I'm not one of those guys. I went ahead and took the next step. I made this thing before YouTube. I even saw YouTube. I didn't know what a Venturi was. I mean, look, I was completely ignorant when I made this. This is all trial and error that I'm giving away right here. So, anyways, only video you're going to have to watch. We're going to start off with a 3/4 inch T. Okay? We're going to come on over here. Alright, the reason why I want the camera right here is because I want to write the parts down as I go. I had originally made a real nice parts tray, all this other kind of good stuff. I accidentally turned the camera off in the middle of the first videos, so yeah. Anyways, we're just going to write them down as we go on this one. Okay. Got a 3/4 inch T fitting. We're going to make, this whole gun's going to be brass. So, next thing, we're going to stick on the barrel. This is a 6-inch brass nipple. So we're gonna call it a 6-inch nip. There you go. Next thing we're going to do is this is going to be for our water. Now, you're just going to take a 3/4 inch double nipple here and there. Okay. This particular ball valve is rated for 800 PSI. So you don't have to have one that nice if you're just going to power wash with it. You're going to hook a garden hose up to it, and that's all you're ever going to do. You know, you spend less money and get, it doesn't matter. You get one of, you could even get a gate valve like that. You know, this is for like a washing machine on your house or whatever. Some people use them for their garden hose outlet on the outside of their house. But this thing is going to need to handle lots of pressure because we're doing a whole series of these videos. And by the end video, we're going to be running 2,000 PSI through this fitting. When I turn it off, I don't want it to blow up. We're going to test everything. Hopefully 800 will do it. If you're going to do it, do not buy an 800 PSI fitting. That is so dangerous. That is a bad idea. Be sure you spend $150 on a 2,000 PSI fitting. So yeah, I'm a stunt man. So it's cool if I do it. Do not use 800 if you're going to follow me all the way to the end video. Just buy a regular old ball valve. The reason we have Teflon tape hanging off is, like I said, I accidentally turned the camera off in the middle of the first one, and I don't have any more Teflon tape, so we're just winging it. Okay. So after you go through the ball valve, you're gonna go to another 3/4 inch nipple. I'm gonna go ahead and write it down so I don't forget. All right, so there we go. We've got water is going to come in there, so we've got to convert a 3/4 inch international pipe thread over to garden hose. But the thing is if you just leave it like that, you're always going to kink that garden hose. Like on my gun that I showed you earlier, it's going to probably tear eventually after long-term use. So to get through this problem, what I've done is we're going to put a 45-degree angle pipe on it, and hopefully that'll reduce the stress enough to where our garden hose is on there forever and we don't have to worry about it. Alright, so we need to go from here to garden hose. So the way to do that is get another one of these nipples, double nipples, screw it into there, and then you're going to take I always go to male. Now, the reason I go to male, it all goes back to I don't want to be getting all wet whenever I'm working. So, and if it's going to leak, when everything's all said and done, if it's going to leak, it's going to leak right there on the factory garden hose connection, because they're not spending $20 for a nice, and they're going to, you know, somebody steps on it, it bends, whatever. So the solution to that is on the end of your factory garden hose, it's male, so you can't put male. You got to have a female. So I got these washing machine hoses out of a dumpster somewhere. You can go to the store and buy them. I think they're like $20 a pair. But they're female on both ends. Okay, so these are extra heavy duty. I don't get wet whenever I use one of these. And if it's going to unscrew itself, it'll unscrew itself down at this end. So if it's going to leak a little bit of water, it's going to be way over here, not getting me wet. I'm going to write that down so we don't forget. We're going to run out of room on this parts list, I can already tell. Alright, so just for while we're doing the video, I'm not leaving that screwed on. If you don't want to mess around with going through the trouble of getting one of these right here, it's not a big deal. All you got to do is just get a converter that goes from IPT threads to female garden hose instead of male. That's all you got to do. Alright, now at this point, we have, like I said, I told you earlier in the video that if you just build the gun like it looks, it's not going to work right. It's good. The air is going to go over this T. The water is going to surge, and it just doesn't work right. It doesn't have as much power, and there's no way to upgrade the gun whatsoever and make it better. That's where you're at right there. Okay. So what we've got to do to get past this T fitting, we're going to buy a hex bushing, 3/4 inch to 1/4 inch hex bushing. Okay. And then whenever you get this hex bushing, you're going to go out to Harbor Freight or wherever and get you a 1/4 inch international pipe tap. 1/4 inch. And then you're going to put it in as far as it'll go. Okay. Whenever you screw it in originally, you just want the tops of your bit barely sticking out past the threads, and don't force it any more than that. You just want to be able to barely have threads on the other side. Then you take it off, turn the fitting around, and gently thread it into the other side. And this is you'll need a tool, put a wrench on it or whatever, and you want to do that until you're through about that much right there, coming from the other direction. If you keep going, there's a chance that you could crack fitting. So that's about all you want right there. After, let's write that. Yeah, you cannot see that. Three-quarter to 1/4 inch hex. All right, there we go. Now then, after you tap it out, you're going to want to screw a 4-inch. Sorry, you're going to want to screw a 4-inch double nipple in backwards. Get 2 jam nuts, small as you can find. Now, this particular nipple, you're going to want to screw it until it goes all the way to the other side. Okay? And really put a lot of Teflon tape on that because you've tapped it out bigger than what the factory had it. Just a little bit. So, however much Teflon you usually use, put 4 times more. Okay? Then it's time to put on your coupler. Now, I'm not going to go through the process, but I tap this all the way through too. The reason I did that is, and I Teflon taped up, blah, 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 is so I can adjust the pipe on the inside if I want. I can make it longer or shorter right there if I want. There's other ways to do it too. And that's a whole nother video. So we're going to screw on another 4-inch nipple. So we got 4-inch coupler, 4-inch. This right here is, it's kind of funny, guys, but this right here is a air chuck. I had one sitting right here. Oh, this is an air chuck. I cut the end off of it. I could have just went 1/4 inch to 1/8 of an inch, you know, and bought all the converters and stuff, but I think that this was like $4 and everything I need. Got an 1/8 inch hole on the bottom. Once I cut it off, I kind of hit it with my step bit real quick, so it flares it out just a hair, and then I hit it again with my file bit to deburr it. Okay, so that's what that looks like right there. That's what I did. Then you're going to take this, and guess what? That gets you right past that hole. Gets you right on the other side of that T. Okay, get you past the T. Now you still got some sticking out right here. Can't have that. And you want to get that pipe as close to the middle as you can. Okay, that's about right there. Next step is to get another 3/4 inch coupler. I'm going to write this down so we don't forget. All right, so got all that wrote down. Still sticking out just a hair. And got one more fitting. This is a 3/4 inch IPT to garden hose. Gonna screw that on right there. Okay, now at this point, we are going to take our deburring tool and we're gonna make doggone sure that that pipe is as close to the middle as possible. And I just use this tool to, I poke it in that hole and you can manipulate it just a little bit. But that right there, that's perfect. Okay, so that's your motor. If you get that part right, this gun will work. Now, we've got to reduce this down. It's all getting combined right here. And so you got water being pulled out of this barrel by that inner pipe. It's what they call the Venturi effect. Okay, we got to. If you don't reduce it down, you're not gonna have any pressure. The easiest way to do this is just go buy a fireman hose nozzle. I got this one at Ace Hardware, and screw it directly right on right there, and bam, it goes from 3/4 inch down to 1/8 of an inch. Brand new out of the package. Here's the deal, guys. You don't want this hole in the end of your fireman hose nozzle to be smaller than that hole. Okay, it's got to be bigger than this hole. If it's not bigger than this hole, whenever it condenses that stream, you're gonna have air that could come backwards, and if you got air going this way, it's going down into your water lines. You don't want that. So as long as you make sure that this is bigger than that hole, you're good to go. That way it's got a way to escape out of the gun. I know you're not going to be able to read that parts list. I'm just going to leave a comment with the parts list on it. I'm not going to put it in my description because I got plans for my description list already. Okay, guys. So I've made an effort. I did the best I can. It's getting late. Been working on this thing for 2 days, and I apologize about not having a nice parts list. Look, guys. I had it. It was super nice. It all went wrong when I hit the wrong button. All right, so here we go. We got our water inlet right there. We have our motor installed into the gun. The inner pipe stops right at the end, right before it goes into the reducer. We have our reducer arm, which is just a garden hose nozzle that's been drilled with a step bit first, and then deburred with a file bit. All right, so we got to get our air into the gun somehow. We're just going to use a 1/4 inch ball valve. And the ball valve doesn't have to be anything expensive or special, okay? All it has to do is hold back 175 PSI max, unless you did something magic to your air compressor and made it push out more than that, okay? because this is the only thing on the whole gun that's holding pressure is that valve right there. This one I think is